Bonsoir, Didier. Je crois qu'on va commencer. Il y a load shedding, donc on ne saura pas attendre trop longtemps. Ceux qui pourront entrer après le feront. Donc, merci d'être venu à cette session de CoopCongo Dialogue. Et nous allons commencer. Donc, nous avons notre dialogue toutes les 2 semaines où nous recevons des personnes qui peuvent partager avec la communauté des sujets importants de finances et de développement communautaire. On répète que CoopCongo, c'est notre coopérative que nous voulons la banque des Congolais en Afrique australe et dans le monde. Comme contenu de notre soirée aujourd'hui, nous aurons cette brève introduction que nous allons faire. Et ensuite, nous aurons la présentation de M. Didier Mbayo, après quoi nous aurons des questions sur la présentation d'aujourd'hui, mais toute autre chose qui a trait à la coopérative bancaire. Donc, nous sommes toujours à notre étape de normaliser la coopérative. Là, nous sommes très, très près de ce qu'on appelle Prudential Authority. Ici, à la Banque centrale, il y a deux agences avec lesquelles nous traitons. La CBDA, qui est la Cooperative Development Agency, a déjà approuvé nos documents qu'ils ont revus. Maintenant, nous sommes prêts à les déposer auprès de la Prudential Authority, c'est une autre agence de la Banque centrale, celle qui octroie la licence. Donc, c'est là que nous sommes. Mais nous sommes toujours dans notre vision d'être la banque des Congolais à travers le monde. Alors, nous sommes donc sur la piste de la Banque centrale qui nous a demandé les 2 conditions des 200 membres et 100 000 rand que nous avons déjà remplies. C'est pour ça qu'on traite de notre dossier. Donc, nos 2 millions de parts, nous avons déjà des 2 millions de parts pour lesquels plus de la moitié est déjà réservée et les membres payent. Cela nous fera un peu plus de 20 millions quand tout sera parti d'ici là. Et nous aurons nos produits pour les membres. Nous aurons déjà les produits qui sont taillés, comme les saving accounts, les check accounts et les produits de crédit à court terme et à long terme, et aussi les produits communautaires comme l'assistance funéraire et l'assistance médicale. L'assistance funéraire a déjà été adoptée et notre équipe est en train de se préparer pour que nous ayons une bonne traction sur l'assistance funéraire qui est ouverte à tout le monde, ce n'est pas seulement un membre de CoopCongo. Nous continuons notre éducation toutes les 2 semaines. Nous allons revoir l'année prochaine comment on va tailler ça. Et nous demandons aux membres de s'enregistrer sur Quora. S'il y a des problèmes, veuillez nous contacter ou bien contacter l'équipe Quora pour assistance. Avec ce que j'ai introduit, que nous aurons d'ici là notre dossier auprès de la 2e agence qui est le Prudential Authority. Nous demanderons aux membres de terminer leur part. Pourquoi? Parce que nous allons bientôt donc commencer les opérations de prêt. Donc, c'est notre opération primordiale, donner des prêts aux membres. Donc, d'ici là, dès que nous introduisions les dossiers auprès de la 2e agence, je crois dans quelques semaines, nous serons aussi prêts à donner des prêts aux membres. Voilà, donc c'est une brève introduction. Maintenant, ce soir, nous avons M. Didier Mbayo, qui est conseiller juridique commercial et il est aussi conseiller de vie. Donc, il est Commercial Legal Counsel and Life Coach. Il va nous parler de 10 étapes pour créer une nouvelle conviction. Bonne soirée, soyez les bienvenus. Donc, Monsieur Didier, à vous l'antenne. Cette présentation est sur YouTube et nos membres qui ratent maintenant auront l'opportunité de taper auprès de YouTube. Vous pouvez, je vais faire descendre mon présentation, comme ça vous pouvez faire monter votre présentation. Monsieur Didier, à vous l'antenne. Merci beaucoup.
Ok, merci, tonton Marc. Un grand merci. Et bonjour à tout le monde. Bonjour Innocent, bonjour Lucovi. Welcome to tonight's session. I'm going to present in English because all my documents are in English, so it makes sense for me to present everything in English. So let me just get my presentation on. I don't know why it's not showing. I'll try again. Okay, let me try. I don't know why it's not showing. Seems to be. Okay. Let me know when you can see my screen.
OK, ça va. Maintenant, on peut voir.
Okay, perfect.
Thanks.
So tonight we will talk about the 10 steps to create a new belief. As a matter of introduction, Tonton Mark introduced me very well. So I'm a coach, I'm a speaker and a trainer from the John Maxwell Academy. So I'm one of his coach. I don't know if some of you have come across some of the material that John Maxwell released in the past 40 or 50 years. So he released more than 100 books that has been published. He made the platinum 5 times, and he sold more than 40 million books across the world. And he's the #1 leader, guru when it comes to leadership. So I'm really honored tonight to, share my presentation, and I hope that this will be really helpful to you, will help you to change your belief and hopefully change the result in your life. So my first question to you, what creates change in your life? I'm sure most of you, throughout your life, you've been through a situation that created a shift, a major shift in your life. So my question to you is, what actually created that shift? What really happened when you had that shift? If some of you honestly can share what you guys have been through. I can ask Innocent. Innocent, you can maybe share.
Je ne sais pas, je vais un peu traduire en français. Donc, Monsieur Bayo il est conseiller de vie, comment les public speakers, c'est des personnes conférenciers, et il est lié à John Maxwell, qui est un grand écrivain en ce qui concerne le leadership. Donc maintenant, la question, il y a Innocent, je ne sais pas si vous êtes confortable. Si vous avez eu un changement dans votre vie, qu'est-ce qui a créé ces changements? C'est ça,
oui,
monsieur.
C'est ça la question.
Voilà. Ouais, donc.
Si j'ai eu un changement dans ma vie, ce qui a créé le changement en question? À l'âge que j'ai, donc il faut que je descende un peu plus bas. C'est un peu ça. Donc il faut repartir un peu dans mon cursus. il y a eu d'abord la formation, l'obtention de diplôme et puis l'entrée dans la vie professionnelle, en fait. Maintenant, par rapport à ça, l'entrée dans la vie professionnelle et puis aussi l'accès au mariage qui a fait que j'ai eu des enfants, donc qui ont généré des changements en moi. Compte tenu de tout ce qui se présentait comme responsabilité en ce moment-là aussi. Donc, en fait, c'est dans ce sens-là que je présenterai les choses. Bon, maintenant, en dehors de ça, je n'ai pas d'option autre à dire. Entre la vie sociale et la vie professionnelle, il n'y a que ces deux éléments-là qui occupent un peu ma vie, si je dois dire comme ça.
OK.
Voilà.
Bon, je crois que vous avez touché du bon point. Enfin, les changements que vous avez eus, vous avez dit que vous êtes allé dans le système, à travers votre système éducatif, vous êtes allé à l'université, vous êtes allé à l'école. Bon, ce que je voudrais expliquer à tonton Marc, c'est unfortunate. Il fallait me dire que la présentation pouvait être en français par rapport aux gens qui vont être dans le call.
Non. C'est-à-dire, on est toujours bilingue. La présentation peut être en anglais, mais de temps en temps, on est en français pour ceux qui sont en dehors du système anglophone. C'est pas grave. Vous pouvez continuer la présentation en anglais, il n'y a pas de problème. Ça nous aide aussi parce que nous sommes ici et si les gens veulent vérifier ce que nous faisons comme travail, c'est-à-dire les autorités et les autres personnes, les autres agences, ils peuvent lire ça en anglais. Donc, on souhaite que ça soit en anglais. Ouais, merci.
Oh, that's perfect. So, what I'm trying to say here is it's good that Innocent share what create a major shift in his life. What usually creates a major shift in someone's life is the learning model. Because as you wake up in the morning, the way you brush your teeth, the way you tie your shoes, the way you drive your car is based on a learning model. So you don't do those things just like that without, you've been through a learning model, how you have learned how to tie your shoes, how to drive a car, how to brush your teeth, how to eat. So you've been through a learning model. So, yeah.
Je dis, il y a un modèle qu'on suit, évidemment.
Oui, voilà. Il y a toujours un modèle qu'on suit. Ton nom, comment tu t'appelles, on t'a appelé comme ça quand tu étais au bas âge. On t'a appelé plusieurs fois. Innocent. C'est comme ça que tu retiens ton nom. Donc, tout ce qu'on apprend, c'est à travers la répétition. Alors, we have two learning models. The first one is the learning model of success. And there is a learning model of failure. Okay? Now, if I'll ask Tonton Marc, how did you learn to drive a car today? What was the process? If you can explain to me what you've been through to learn how to drive a car.
Drive a car pour conduire. Je crois que it was a lot of repetition. I had a coach. I had somebody to teach me. Then after that, I had to drive. He told me to exercise a lot alone. So I think it is just those two phases. So I had somebody who showed me. Then later he told me, you need to drive, like exercise these following steps many times. And that's what I did.
Fantastic. So what happened to you when you ask that person to teach you how to drive? You've been through a process where you did not know how to drive. And today you drive without thinking. You can be on your car, be also busy on the phone or talking to someone, in the car and driving, you know, a very long distance and getting to the destination. So
Yes.
when you did not know how to drive, we call it a learning model of failure. And when you learn to drive, we call it a learning model of success. Okay? Now, you have, when you go through life, you go through two types of changes. Okay? The first type of change is called cyclical change. Cyclical change is basically when we look at the move of the planet. Okay? The planet moves around the sun. We know that as we have a day, we're going to have a night. So these are cyclical change. Okay? On the other side, we have what we call structural change. Structural change, unfortunately, always creates disruption. So structural change are the result of a dramatic shift in the way an industry or market function, usually brought by major economic development. I mean, we don't need to go far. We can just look at 2 years ago, what happened with COVID. That was a structural change, which moved everybody to adjust and see how they could navigate through the COVID crisis. Now, the biggest challenge in life is when we go through structural change, we have to learn that structural change, unfortunately, do not care who you are. So you have to keep learning and adjusting and evolve so you can be able to navigate any kind of crisis. Now, going back to the learning model. Learning models are always based on 3 components. The first one is awareness. You have to be aware that, like in your example, Tonton Mark, you said, I have learned to drive a car through repetition, through practice. And I had to have a coach, someone, a mentor, someone who believed in me, who could teach me how to drive. Now, you started off by being aware. You saw people driving cars. So of course that create that awareness that, well, since everybody can drive a car, I can also have my own car. Okay? So it starts by you being aware that I can also have a car. I don't need to walk, you know, long distance all day long. So I can have a car. Now the second step is you start believing that you can drive because you see other people driving. So we have awareness, we have belief, and the last one is the principle. For you to drive, for you to change the gear, you need to understand the mechanic, the principle behind driving. Okay? So this is an important part in the learning model. So learning model can only work when those 3 elements come into play: awareness, belief, and the principle. And I would say awareness is the starting point of anything. Any change that happens on earth, any change that affects every single individual, start with awareness. You need to be aware that I can do this. This is why most people go literally through their life without tapping into their potential, because they're not aware. So once you become aware, you start believing. Sometimes you may not even believe that you can drive a car. You must borrow somebody else's belief. Somebody may be a father, somebody may be an uncle, somebody may be a relative, somebody who believe in you and say, yes, you can do it. I can show you how to do it. Okay? And then they start explaining to you, when you change the gear, when you drive, this is how you stand on the wheel, blah, blah, blah. And that's how, through practice, to repetition, you now master how to drive a car. Are we okay there? Is there any question?
No, we are fine. Je vais juste un peu résumer ce que vous aviez déjà dit et que nous avons ici dans notre parcours, nous avons des modèles d'apprentissage et que les deux grands modèles sont des modèles de succès et des modèles d'échec. Et que nous avons aussi dans notre vie beaucoup de changements. Il y a des changements cycliques et des changements structurels. Et les changements structurels amènent beaucoup de dérangements. Alors, nous avons trois éléments qui font partie de notre parcours aussi quand nous devons apprendre. C'est d'abord être informé, être alerte, et puis croire à ce que l'on doit faire, et puis il y a les principes que nous devons aussi respecter. Donc, quand on est informé et qu'on croit à ce qu'on pourra réaliser et on suit les principes à travers peut-être un coach, un conseiller, c'est-à-dire qu'on saura réaliser ce à quoi on aspire. Merci.
Okay. Alors, when we look at this statement, this is a very interesting quote from Eric Offer. He says basically that in time of change, because I want to go back to when I spoke about the structural change, which bring a lot of disruption. So in time of change, learners inherit the earth. Learners are the people who are lifelong learners, people who keep learning every day, just like the people who are on this call. We keep improving your mental faculties, keep learning new things. So people who keep growing inherit the earth, while the learn are the people who consider themselves that I know it all. So I've gone to school, blah, 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 and I know it all. The learn find themselves beautifully equipped to deal with a world that no longer exists. And this is what happened in life. If you don't evolve, if you don't grow, what happens is you going backward. Whatever you have learned today can only sustain you for the next 2 or 3 years. We are living in a world that really changed in a faster space. And the only way to cope with the change is to keep growing. There is no guarantee that tomorrow will be better until you decide to keep evolving, learning, and growing. Now, if you look at this picture, you see this guy riding a bike. He looks very comfortable, but I can assure you, all of you guys probably on this call know how to drive a bike. But before you learn how to drive a bike, you had to start by being aware that I can have a bike. Probably that happened when you were, very young, your teenage time. You look at your friends, some of them ride bikes, and then you want to have a bike. And then the next thing that moved you was, Dad or Mom, can I have a bike? Can you buy for me a bike? Then they bought the bike for you. And then you decide to now learn how to ride a bike. So how do you learn how to ride a bike? You must believe that you can ride a bike. Because if you don't believe, you will never ride a bike. And probably you had to get somebody to teach you how to ride the bike. And whoever teach you how to ride the bike had to explain to you the principle behind riding a bike, how to keep yourself in balance. So when we look at this picture, we just see the final result. So this person, for him to be able to stand on the bike like this, probably he fell many times. He fell many times. For him to be today to stand on the bike and really be in balance. So anytime we're moving from a model of failure, learning model of failure to a learning model of success, we have to understand that the principle behind will probably move us to fail. We will fail. For sure, we're going to fail. We're going to fall. Whatever we do, we need to understand that there is a process and failure is part of the process. Failure is our best companion. I mean, I know most people don't like to swallow that because people want to always succeed. Success is and failure are friends. They walk hand in hand. If you don't succeed, you fail. The question is, you don't really fail if you learn something from the failure. What did you learn? What can you do to improve? And I think then it's not a failure. It's a lesson learned. Maybe I can stop there, Tonton Mark. You can translate.
I think you can carry on for the sake of time.
Okay. So since we have this guy who can ride a bike, the same principle applies for this guy who can stand on a rope. He learned about the principle behind standing on a rope. I'm sure if they ask me to do that, I would fall. So he had to believe that he can do it. Okay. Now, the biggest challenge in life is we don't understand how our mind functions. Okay. Many people go through life, they don't understand how the mind functions. I mean, when you look at this picture speaks volume. Okay. So every day, me, you, all of you on this call, you got a mind, and the mind is a powerful tool that you have in your disposal to change literally your life. Now, the mind is divided into two parts. The first part is called the conscious mind. It's where you reason. It's where you think. It's where you create. It's where you innovate. It's where you select ideas. When somebody shares something, you say, no, this doesn't make sense to me. I don't think I can agree to this. You use your conscious mind. And your conscious mind only governs 10% of what you do every day. From the time you wake up in the morning until you go to bed, 10% of what you do is governed by the conscious mind. The 90% of what you do is governed by the subconscious mind. So what is the subconscious mind? Which is usually referred in French as le subconscient. So the subconscious mind is your emotional mind. The subconscious mind is your habit mind. Your subconscious mind is the storage of all your memory. Everything that happened in your life is sitting in your subconscious mind. Now, it's unfortunate that 90% of what you do it on autopilot. Just like a robot, like a computer that has been programmed to produce exactly certain results. Now, if you don't get this, your life will never change. The result that you have in life will never change. I am 100% sure about that. So if you don't fix this, you're never going to change. Now, the question is, what differentiates the two, the conscious mind and the subconscious mind? Now, the conscious mind is where you can think, where you can reason, we can reject ideas. But the subconscious mind has no ability to reject an idea. Anytime you have an idea that you focus on a lot, that becomes your dominant thought, it gets impressed in your subconscious mind. And your subconscious mind can only accept it. And the subconscious mind must express that idea. Now, the subconscious mind cannot differentiate between what is real and what is imagined. Anytime you imagine something, you are impressing your subconscious mind. I mean, I like what Tonton Mark started off with his presentation. He's talking about a bank for Congolese. He's talking about a bank of Africa. That is the dream. When you have a dream, that dream, you impress it in your subconscious mind because it is going to happen. Now, when the subconscious mind accepts that idea, it must be expressed. Your body, in your body, your subconscious mind is in every cell of your body. Anytime you fear, you have a thought of fear, your subconscious mind registers that message. If that becomes the dominant thought, your heart rate goes fast. You start sweating. You start feeling headache. You start feeling really uncomfortable. That is how the subconscious mind expresses itself. Now, we have as individual 50,000 thoughts, roughly 50 to 70,000 thoughts that we process every single day. Everyone on this call process at least 50,000 thoughts. The question is, how do we select those thoughts? I mean, we wake up in the morning and we start, worrying about anything that can go wrong in our life. So we have been gifted with the ability to choose our thoughts. That's what differentiates us from the animal, okay? All animals have the 5 senses. They can hear, they can see, they can taste, they can touch, they can smell. That all animals have this. The only thing that differentiates us from the animal are our faculty our ability to think. So thinking is the highest form of all God's creature, human. So when we choose our thought, the thought that we choose put us in a certain feelings. We feel in a certain way. When I'm not happy about my thought, let's say I have bad thought, I wake up and I'm worried about everything. I am also feeling down. And when I'm feeling down, what happens is I don't take the right actions. I probably procrastinate. I don't take the right action, and then that definitely leads to bad results. Okay, so we need to understand that we have an amazing tool in our disposal, which is our mind. Okay, all the results that we have in our life is we are in control of those results. We create those results by the thought that we keep focusing on. Now, how do we create a belief? We said we have a learning model of success. We have a learning model of failure. Now, all the learning model have 3 components. Awareness, I must be aware. Second, I must believe. Third, I must understand the principle. Now, the first step is you must have a burning desire. I mean, there is no way you're going to achieve anything worthwhile without having a burning desire, a consuming obsession. Because somebody who doesn't have a burning desire will not sacrifice anything. And I can tell you from experience, anytime I'm hearing someone who say, well, I'm going to do it when I have time, it means that it's not a dream. It's not a burning desire. It's just a wish. And a wish will never take you anywhere. You need to have a burning desire that I want this to happen. And I go back to what Tonton Mark shared about the bank, the cooperative. It is going to happen because there are laws that govern this universe. One of the laws is called the perpetual transmutation of energy. Anytime I hold an idea long enough in my mind, it must move in the physical realm. I must see it. It's going to happen. I mean, if you go back in your life, there's been time where you've been through a lot, something that you've been really dreaming about, and it's really happened. There is no way you can hold an idea and it doesn't happen in the physical realm. It must happen by law. This has nothing to do with you being this. The only thing that can stand in the way is you doubting. Because the biggest problem with most people, we don't believe. We have wish, but we don't really fortify our belief by having faith that it is going to happen. We wish for something, but the next thing is we have a counter thought. We believe in this, but long after a while, we start doubting that it's going to happen. And for some of you, if some of you are Christian, I have to share it because I'm a Christian. It clearly states in the Bible. I think it's James 1. God is clear. God says that for the person who doesn't believe, who have doubt, he will never receive anything from God. And this is clear. Those are conditions. God says those who have faith only with faith you can walk with God. So you need to have faith. You must believe, have this consuming desire. You wake up in the morning, you only think about your dream, your big goal. Okay? I'm just going to quickly put a parenthesis here. Everyone needs to have a goal. If you don't have a goal, you don't know where you're going. So you can end up anywhere. So goals are very important. And we don't go for goals that we know how to achieve. We need to go for the stretch goal that we have no idea how we're going to achieve it. But we know that it is going to happen because this is what I want. The how should never be your concern. How the goal will happen, that is not your problem. People, resources will be sent to you by God. For those who don't believe, the universe will orchestrate all these resources and the people for you. But you just need to start with belief, having this consuming obsession. Because when people don't have a consuming obsession, what happens? They drop the ball. They do things when it's convenient. They don't have a committed decision. When you commit to something, you do it no matter what. Next step, when you see it, you must act. And this is all about not only focusing on dreaming, believing, but acting, okay? Because you will never get anything in life until you act. Acting is an act of, acting basically, I would say operationalize or express your faith. I mean, if you cannot act, then faith without action is not a faith, it's dead. Number 3, you have to find your yes. You have to understand that what you want may not necessarily be what other people think you should be going for. I mean, why people will not support you because of their own belief, okay? Most people are limited, have limited belief. They don't believe in themselves. So how could they believe in your dream? How could they believe in your big goal? You must understand that since I have set this goal, I believe that it's going to happen. The only person that I need to work on is me. I don't need to focus on other people. I must work on me. I must fortify my belief. I must take the action that will make that dream become a reality. You must think, act, and behave as the person that you want to become. It's not about you thinking that, you know, you firstly need to wait for these circumstances to happen for the dream. The dream, as long as it's there, you focus on it, you take action, trust me, it's going to happen in the physical realm. Number 4, don't negotiate with your dream. You must be willing to pay whatever price is asked for, because anything that is worthwhile, you have to pay the price. Your price can be monetary, can be money, the price can be your time, the price can be really anything that take you away from your ordinary life. You must be willing to pay a price. If you're not willing to pay a price, then it's not a dream, it's just a wish. So we need to really burn that in our mind. I want something, I believe in it, I must be willing to pay the price. And paying the price is a manifestation of your faith. I repeat it. Because if you can't pay the price, then how do you expect the dream to happen? I mean, I think 2 months or 3 months ago, I heard Elon Musk sharing when he was at the lowest level of his life. I think he had like $50 million remaining in his bank account. He decided to split that money into 2 companies. He wasn't even sure that he's going to make it, but he made it. Because life is about sacrifice. If you can't sacrifice, trust me, you will always have the life that you have. The people who succeed in life are the people who are willing to pay the price. That is a fact. There's no way you can achieve anything worthwhile without paying the price. I'm going to read something from my mentor, John Maxwell. He said the following: if you really want to be transformed, you have to live an intentional life. And this sounds very simple, but people don't live their life. They accept their life. And when you accept your life, you are living on things that are not worthy, your time, your effort, your energy. And you have heard me saying that everything worthwhile is uphill. To go uphill, you have to be intentional. Nobody ever went uphill by accident. You never read a book about accidental achievement. There is no such thing as accidental achievement. It must be intentional. So really make that decision that I am not going to negotiate for my dream. I am going to pay the price. Whatever is the price, I am going to pay it. And be creative. Number 5, be creative. Focus on the possibility, not the limitation. Don't waste your time on thinking how this will not happen. What will stand in the way? You don't need to waste your time on this. Focus your energy and your possibility, your energy on what can be done. How can I make it happen? Because most people, instead of thinking, how can I make it work? They think of why it will not work. And that is the dominant thought that they keep thinking. And what happens is they move themselves in a negative vibration. They're feeling down, they're feeling sad. And if somebody feeling sad, they don't take actions. And the dream will never happen. So you really need to think on what is possible. How can I do this? How can I make it happen? So be creative. Number 6, challenge your belief. Eric Hoffer again says, no matter what our achievement might be, we think well of ourselves only in rare moments. We need other people to be a witness against our inner judge who keep book on our shortcoming and transgression. We need other people to convince us that we are not as bad as we think we are. And this is very unfortunate. Most people go through life with this running conversation with themselves, where they beat themselves down. They keep telling things that do not help them to achieve and change their belief. They keep, keeping score to themselves. They keep, putting themselves down by using statements like, I'm foolish, I'm stupid, I'm not good enough. I mean, trust me, if you keep doing that to yourself, you're not going to be able to change your belief. Your inner judge will always be a witness. Your inner judge is that running voice that you have. Every time we talk to ourselves, as from the time we wake up in the morning, we talk to ourselves until we go to bed. There is a conversation that we have with ourselves. The question is, what is the nature of that conversation? Is that conversation conducive for the fulfillment of your dream, or is that conversation not taking you where you want to go? So you really have to pay attention to that conversation. And that conversation plays an important role in your self-image. How do you see yourself? Because if you don't believe in yourself, you will never achieve anything worthwhile. So that conversation needs to be a good conversation with yourself. Daily affirmations are the best way to boost your confidence level. I mean, you can start every day by proclaiming who you are. I am born to succeed. I am blessed. I am confident. Those type of affirmation rewrite your subconscious mind, because your subconscious mind can only be reprogrammed through daily affirmation, spaced repetition. Like I say in the beginning, anything you have learned is through repetition. And unfortunately, as we get older, we think that we don't need to read something over and over. We just think that I read it once and then I got it. No. You want to really become a master in anything you do, you have to go through repetition. Repetition is the mother of all science. Repeating things will move you to become a master. And if you want to reprogram your mind, your subconscious mind, which, as you have seen, control 90% of what you do, you have to do it through spaced repetition, high-level coaching. So you need somebody who can hold you accountable. Number 7, we must take the first step without knowing any of the others. I spoke about it. When you have a stretch goal, a goal for which you have no idea how you're going to achieve it. One example of a stretch goal, Elon Musk is got a stretch goal to go to Mars, the planet. He doesn't know how he's going to do it, but that is a stretch goal. That is a goal that helps you to grow. Remember, when we set goal, it's not for us to get something. We set goal because it It's the person that we become in the process. Who we become in the process is more important than what we get. And this is why you see people who are successful, they can go through bankruptcy, and then tomorrow they come back. They become more successful. I mean, we have Donald Trump. He had been bankrupt twice, but today he's still successful because of the mindset and the belief that he has put in his mind that he's a successful person. Most people struggle with that. Most people want to understand the step. They want to know how something will happen. Trust me, if that is what you're focusing on, if you know how to do something, then it's not a stretch goal. It's just an easy goal, just like to buy a car. You go to the bank, you ask for a loan. This is not a stretch goal. You go or you ask for a loan to buy a house. It's not a stretch goal. A stretch goal is something like Tonton Mark shared here about the bank, something that is beyond what someone can expect. How can this happen? How are we going to secure the fund? How are we going to operate in Africa? That makes it a stretch goal. It's a goal for which you're going to grow in the process. And I'm sure Tonton Mark can witness that he has grown through the process. Number 8, remember the law of sacrifice. I spoke about the law of sacrifice. You must always understand that any goal, dream, or any belief that you want to create, you have to sacrifice something. Okay? I'm not going to talk a lot about it. Number 9, see yourself in possession of the perfection you claim to want in your life. You need to see yourself in possession. What it means, basically, you must act and behave and believe that you are that person that you want to become. If the goal is to become the most wealthiest person in Africa, to have, let's say, for God's sake, to have 10, 20 billion, you must start acting and behaving and thinking like that person. Then you can attract that money. If you cannot act and behave and think like that person, you will never attract that money. Number 10, celebrate victory along the way. You need to, keep your self-confidence, boost your self-confidence, because you have to celebrate. Anytime you go through changing a new belief and you manage to change the belief, you must celebrate. So these are the 10 steps that I wanted to share today about creating a new belief. And that's it. Thank you very much.
OK. Merci beaucoup, Monsieur Bayo. So we thank you so much. As I was listening and hearing you repeat all of that, it was clinging in my mind. But thank you so much. That's what I can say for now. It is overwhelming. Donc, je ne sais pas. On va essayer on va pas le faire maintenant. Ce qu'on va faire avec Mbouta Edouard, le secrétaire général, c'est que je peux lui demander de revoir la vidéo ici et de pouvoir faire une transmission en français, parce que j'avais vu que c'était long. On n'allait pas, si j'arrivais à le faire directement, on n'allait pas finir. Mais je pense que l'audience va vraiment être dans un agrément avec moi, que c'est très, très intéressant comme présentation, et qu'on souhaiterait que tous ceux qui sont dans le leadership puissent partager ceci. C'est vrai, Monsieur Didier, que avoir cette idée-là de la banque, parfois, il y avait des questions, mais parfois, je me disais, je ne savais pas comment ça allait se faire, mais c'était une conviction interne, et je pense que à l'heure actuelle, j'ai déjà partagé avec certains que ça ne dépend même plus de moi, parce que l'idée a été acceptée par la communauté, donc ça va se faire. Et ça se fait déjà. Donc, nous célébrons ces victoires par-ci, par-là. Aujourd'hui, où nous parlons, c'est la Banque centrale qui nous appelle et qui nous demande, écoutez, nous voulons que vous puissiez vraiment nous envoyer, par exemple, des gens de votre banque pour que nous ayons qu'ils aient la formation. Donc, c'est des choses qui font une certaine fierté à notre plateforme. que ça va se réaliser. Merci beaucoup vraiment pour ce partage, c'est très encourageant. On va essayer de le repartager avec nos membres pour qu'ils puissent se ressourcer. C'est vraiment, vraiment très bon et très réconfortant. Merci beaucoup en tout cas. Je vais demander aux membres s'ils ont des questions. Il y a Innocent, je sais que c'était en anglais, mais je pense que vous avez pu avoir des idées par-ci, par-là. Mais on va le faire en français aussi. M. Njeka va le faire. S'il y a des questions, aussi longtemps que M. Mbayo est là, M. Mbayo, son temps a été très difficile. Ça fait une année qu'on cherchait à l'avoir. Donc, on est très, très privilégié de l'avoir aujourd'hui. S'il y a des questions, les membres peuvent poser. Comme ça, on va partager. Merci beaucoup. Bon, moi, j'avais une question. C'est pour commencer seulement. Paying the price. Payer le prix pour le désir que vous avez. Mais jusqu'à quel niveau vous pouvez payer ce prix? Parce que parfois, ça peut être très grand comme prix à payer pour réaliser le rêve que vous êtes en train de poursuivre. Comment naviguer le paiement de prix et les conséquences qui peuvent découler de la poursuite de votre rêve. Merci.
Non, merci, tonton Max. C'est une très bonne question qui généralement préoccupe beaucoup de personnes. Pourquoi certaines personnes ne poursuivent pas leur rêve et leur objectif, hein? Parce que les gens se disent non, mais il y a un grand prix à payer, mais le grand prix à payer, il est normal. Mais une chose qui va vous permettre d'éviter ça, c'est d'avoir un mentor, je ne sais pas comment le dire en français, mais avoir quelqu'un qui vous montre le chemin à suivre, quelqu'un qui est dans le domaine dans lequel vous êtes, quelqu'un qui a réussi dans ce domaine, ou un coach également. Parce que généralement, le grand problème, quand vous payez un prix, vous apprenez une leçon. Mais pour vous éviter de continuer à aller dans les échecs, c'est là que vous avez besoin d'un mentor. Un mentor, c'est quelqu'un qui est allé avant vous, qui a eu à vivre les mêmes difficultés, les challenges que vous allez avoir à subir. Et cette personne-là vous permet d'éviter justement de perdre 10 ans en train d'essayer en tâtonnant, en le faisant peut-être en 2 ans. C'est ça qui se passe. Et malheureusement, ce que moi j'ai constaté, c'est que beaucoup de gens ne sont pas prêts à le faire. Les gens regardent l'argent qu'ils vont dépenser, mais quel que vaut l'argent? Moi, j'ai toujours dit aux gens, Amine, si je suis assis avec toi dans un call et je partage une idée qui va faire de toi un millionnaire, est-ce que tu peux me donner une valeur à cette idée-là? Parce qu'on peut être dans une conférence téléphonique et je te challenge et tu arrives à trouver une idée qui fait de toi un millionnaire. Et peut-être que ce que tu me payes, c'est, disons, $1000. Qu'est-ce que ça représente par rapport à ce que tu as gagné? Tu vois? Et c'est ça le grand problème que les gens ont. Les gens ne sont pas prêts à avoir des gens qui vont qui vont être comme leur accountability partner. Des gens qui vont réellement les suivre de près pour s'assurer que les objectifs là sont réellement réalisés. Et les gens qui vont partager along the way les challenges, vous dire que non, ne fais pas ça. Tu risques de te casser les dents parce que moi, je l'ai fait. Voilà ce que tu devrais éviter. Fais plutôt ceci. Et moi, j'ai toujours encouragé aux gens, si vous voulez réussir, vous devez avoir un mentor et un coach. Si vous n'avez pas ces personnes-là et you rely on yourself, you are not going to make any headway. Parce que if you rely on yourself, ce qui se passe, c'est que tu vas être trop gentil avec toi-même. Quand tu ne peux pas faire certaines choses, tu vas dire non, ça va, faut pas être trop dur. Écoute, aujourd'hui, j'ai pas pu le faire, c'est bon, demain, je vais. Non. We are talking about results. I mean, ce qui est vraiment dommage, c'est que, tout ce que tu peux dire, on regarde tes résultats. Et les résultats sont simples. Tu vois, tu ouvres ton compte en banque. Qu'est-ce que le compte en banque est en train de dire? Ce sont ça les résultats. Donc, you can change that. Mais je peux vous dire, tonton Marc, que tu ne peux pas atteindre ça sans avoir un mentor et un coach. Ça, je suis prêt à donner ma main dessus parce que moi-même qui suis en train de faire ce que je fais, j'ai un mentor, j'ai un coach. Et je sais de quoi je parle. Donc, je ne sais pas si ça répond à ta question.
Oui, ça va, ça répond, merci. Et maintenant, avant de passer aux autres, quelle est la différence entre un mentor et un coach?
OK. Bon, le mentor, c'est quelqu'un qui, généralement, a eu à vivre les expériences dans le domaine, dans votre domaine, parce que vous ne pouvez pas prendre un mentor, quelqu'un qui n'est pas de votre domaine, non. Vous devez prendre quelqu'un qui est dans votre domaine, qui est vraiment, qui a réussi. Alors, cette personne va vous tenir par la main, parce que le mentor peut voir en vous ce que vous avez comme potentiel et ce que vous pouvez réaliser. Parce que généralement, comme je l'ai partagé dans une des cotes là, c'est rare qu'on puisse croire en soi-même. On a tendance à être trop dur envers nous-mêmes. Donc, le mentor peut te regarder et dire, non, mais tu peux faire ça. Voilà comment tu arrives à atteindre cet objectif. Moi, je suis passé par là, mais j'ai fait ça. Quand je n'ai pas suivi ça, voilà les échecs que j'ai eu. OK? Et le mentor, l'avantage, c'est que c'est quelqu'un qui va te demander de faire exactement ce qu'il te demande parce qu'il connaît la recette de la réussite. Et tu dois apprendre. Beaucoup de problèmes avec les gens, c'est que les gens ne sont pas flexibles quand il s'agit d'apprendre. Les gens viennent, ils demandent à quelqu'un de les aider comme un mentor, mais ils veulent challenge ce que le mentor est en train de lui demander de faire. Non. Mais quand tu demandes à quelqu'un d'être un mentor, c'est quelqu'un, quand il te demande de faire ça, tu le fais. Moi, c'est ce que je fais avec mon mentor. Tout ce qu'il me demande de faire, je le fais. Je ne discute pas parce que lui, il a un proven success, track record of success. What do I have to lose? Tu vois? Maintenant, le coach, généralement, c'est quelqu'un qui hold you accountable. Comme j'ai dit là, par exemple, tous les goals que tu as. Les goals, if you have a stretch goal, let's say the goal is to make $100 million or $1 billion. Now, the same goal that you have set to yourself, you must be able to work it backward. OK, si je dois atteindre $1 milliard dans 15 ans, qu'est-ce que ça veut dire? Je dois diviser ce goal-là de 1 milliard sur 15 années. Je dois rediviser ce goal-là sur le nombre de mois par année, combien je suis obligé de faire par année, combien je suis obligé de faire par mois en termes de chiffre d'affaires, combien je suis obligé de faire par semaine, combien je suis obligé de faire par jour. Maintenant, le coach, son rôle, c'est to hold you accountable. Parce que le coach sait que you, as human being, you will have a tendency to drop the ball. So the coach's job is to challenge you. Anytime you don't want to use your brain to think about something, is to push you to think. Parce que le job du coach, c'est de ne pas te dire ce que tu dois faire, but to help you through questions, to draw what you have inside you, because you have such an amazing power inside you. You are very resourceful. Mais le problème est que we need somebody to challenge us to think differently. Alors, j'espère que j'ai bien expliqué le rôle du coach et du mentor.
Merci beaucoup. Les autres membres, si vous avez des questions, vous pouvez juste directement poser. On n'est pas nombreux. Et comme cela, je m'excuse aussi, M. Mbayo, on terminerait à 18h, mais veuillez nous accorder même 15 minutes pour que les membres posent des questions. Merci. Mama Justin, Monsieur Seke, Mbouta Innocent, si vous avez des questions.
At this moment, thank you very much.
Maman Justine, on vous entend même pas.
Sorry, I don't have a question. I want just to say, Mr. Mbayo Foundation, it was really very good.
Okay.
I you can't hear me. I'm sorry.
Non, ça va, maintenant ça va. OK. On a entendu un peu. Il y a Innocent? OK. Donc, il y a Innocent, vous avez une question? Bon, je crois que votre micro est fermé.
Ouais, le micro est fermé. Là.
Oui. Ouais, maintenant on vous entend. Oh, c'est fermé encore.
Il est toujours fermé, moi je ne l'entends pas. Mais il peut écrire dans le chat là, non?
Non, non, j'ai dit, j'avais pas de questions en fait. Non.
Ah, OK, merci.
Okay.
Mais je félicite M. Didier Mbayo pour une excellente présentation. En tout cas, thank you very much for your time. Indeed.
OK. No, thank you.
Non, M. Mbayo, c'est vraiment excellent. C'est très encourageant pour nous et pour nos membres. Avec le load shedding, bon, on ne sait pas, sûrement
Oui.
ils auront, on va reposter ça. Et vraiment, c'est très, très, très encourageant. Et je suis sûr que ceux qui auront des questions, on va vous les envoyer.
Oui.
Comme cela, ça va les réconforter. Merci beaucoup à tout le monde pour avoir participé, pour votre temps. Merci, M. Mbayo. Nous sommes sûrs que vous reviendrez pour parler encore à nos membres. Tout ça, les 10 là, vous voyez qu'on doit aller dans chacun des 10, ça va prendre un peu plus de temps. Mais c'est très, très, très intéressant. C'est vraiment très encourageant pour nous autres. Merci beaucoup. Bonne soirée à tous. On se voit dans 2 semaines, mais pour les membres, veuillons nous enregistrer sur Quora parce que d'ici là, maintenant, on va commencer toutes les autres opérations. Merci beaucoup. Bonne soirée, bon dimanche.
Merci. Bonne soirée. Bye bye.